So my name is Jessica Lynn Day. I am based in New Jersey in the United States.
Hello, everybody. This is Gertrude Matcha here in beautiful Wellington, New Zealand. Welcome back to the Herstory TV and the Herstory podcast. I am graced with the presence of yet another fascinating lady today. Please welcome. Tell us your full name, where you're based, how old you are, and share your story with us today.
Absolutely. So my name is Jessica Lynn Day. I am based in New Jersey in the United States, and I will be 34 in a couple of weeks. So it's almost my birthday.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. And I am a certified professional life and leadership coach. And I launched my business this past year, right at the height of a pandemic.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, so it's been wild, but fun and exciting every moment of it. And I'm here today with you, as you said, to share my story. And my story, I think, like many women, started when I was a little girl. When I was very young, I was always very intimidated by other people. I was very shy. I had a lot of anxiety all the time. And over the years of my life, I created this kind of people-pleasing sense about me where I really started to live for the pleasure of other people, wanting to make other people happy, wanting to make sure that I wasn't ever starting a confrontation. I wasn't ever making someone uncomfortable. I wasn't ever expressing an opinion or a judgment or a thought that someone could potentially disagree with.
Yes.
And that really led me onto this journey of starting a career in marketing and public relations where I felt really lost and always intimidated by the people around me, always feeling like I wasn't smart enough, I wasn't good enough. I felt like I couldn't get to that next level because I just felt so misaligned with everyone around me. And I realized it was because I was not being myself. I was not expressing myself. I was not sharing what I actually thought about anything because I was so afraid of people not liking me. I wanted people to like me so badly. And, I'm a very genuine, kind person. That's one of my strengths. I really genuinely love people.
Yes.
And I think that as a strength, it also hindered me because I was so focused on being kind and genuine, and I was so focused on other people. And it got to a point where I was really depressed. And I was working in jobs that I didn't like. I was working late hours. I wasn't making any money. I was really stressed all the time. I felt stuck. I felt worthless. I felt like I'm never going to get out of here. Like, this is my life. Like, every day is the same. I'm never going to have an exciting life. I'm never going to be able to travel or buy a house or find a husband because who's going to want to be with me? I'm just like this loser who's stuck in this life.
Oh.
And yeah, it was it was a very low time. But I discovered self-development. I discovered therapy. I discovered coaching. And I never knew what coaching was before, but I happened to just find people who were coaches along my path. And I built up the courage to ask them, hey, what is this coaching thing that you're doing? And I took a leap and decided to enroll myself in a program. And through that coaching program, not only did I learn to become an amazing coach, but I also learned so much about myself. And I learned that I had created stories, I had created assumptions, I had created all of this nonsense that was not true at all, and that I was capable of creating new thoughts and new ideas about who I wanted to be and who I actually was. And it's amazing what has happened to me because I went from someone who kind of hated herself and felt like I didn't deserve anything to now living literally my dream. Like, I live at the beach. I married a wonderful husband. We have a new puppy. I have my own business. I'm in charge of my schedule. And I'm authentically expressing myself, even when I know that someone might disagree with me. And I'm okay with that And it's been amazing.
So, okay, let's just unravel and go right back to the beginning. You know, as women, we sometimes don't even see our own value. We have those little crazy voices in our heads telling us we're not good enough, we're not smart enough, we're not worthy. How does one stop that chatter? Because we are our own worst enemies, right? What would your advice be to somebody who's experiencing this lack of just not knowing your own worth?
Yeah. So that's a great question. And it really, it takes a lot of self-reflection, I think, to understand how to really get to the core of your feeling worthy, right? So a lot of times we go through life not understanding what is actually holding us back. So we don't know what we don't know. We don't realize that we're reacting to things because of a specific reason.
Yes.
So me being a people pleaser was a reaction or a symptom of the fact that I was insecure about myself.
Yeah.
And so I think, one thing to remember, or one thing to kind of maybe start out, is to tell yourself that in this life, the only thing that we can control is ourselves.
Yes.
You cannot control anything else.
No, you can't.
You can't control what happens to you. You can't control how people react to you. And so when somebody tells you something that makes you feel bad, a lot of times we take that and we think, oh, okay, that must mean there's something wrong with me because this person reacted a certain way.
Yes.
We don't realize that person is acting that way because of who they are and because of what's going on in their life. So their circumstances have shaped them into who they are, just like us. But what's
more about them than you.
Exactly. And what's amazing, though, is that when you realize that your circumstances do not have to shape who you are, you don't have to be a victim of your circumstances. You can choose to show up however you want. You literally can create every moment to be exactly what you want it to be. So if you're having an experience that's negative and it's making you feel really badly, you have the power and the control to change the way you're thinking about that. So looking at it as an opportunity, like, what am I learning in this situation? Why is this happening? It's not because I'm bad or wrong, or I'm not pretty enough or thin enough or smart enough. It has nothing to do with it. And so it's changing your thought process, which takes a lot of time and it takes a lot of practice, but it's remembering that what you can do for yourself is to, like, you deserve to love yourself. You deserve to accept yourself and to know that you are exactly where you're supposed to be right now in this moment, even if you feel like you're not, because things aren't going well. There's a reason why it's not going well, and what are you learning, and where do you want to go? Who do you want to be? And tell yourself that is who you are. And
so self-love is a difficult theme for most people.
Yes.
And I always say that when you hear those voices speaking, would you say that to somebody else?
Exactly.
And a lot of times we are so hard on ourselves. Mm-hmm. The words we articulate, we would never use them on another human being.
Yep.
So as a coach, take me through a process. I've come to you, I'm needing your help, found out that you're this amazing coach who can help me just feel comfortable and good about self and move on with my life. Take me through a 3-step process, or what do you do as a coach to help?
Sure. Well, let me ask you this. Let's start with this. So it sounds like you are struggling with some self-confidence. So tell me, what would you like to, we have a few minutes here to chat. So what would you like to achieve in those few minutes that we're talking here?
To overcome my fear of speaking in front of people.
Okay, speaking with people. Okay. So why is that important to you?
I always find that when I'm in a group, I just don't have the courage to air my views or be heard.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So when you are with a group of people and you're trying to have a conversation or you're trying to speak up and share your voice, what comes up for you? What feelings come up for you when you're in that moment?
Extreme anxiety and fear are the two main things.
Sure, sure. Okay, and so what typically goes on in your head? Like, what are you telling yourself?
Is this really important? Are my views worthy to be aired in such a meeting? Or I listen to what somebody else has said and I think, oh gosh, that was really smart. Will my ideas come across as smart? And I don't think so.
Yeah, so it's interesting because you said, are my ideas worthy?
Yes.
So on a scale of 1 to 10, when you talk about worthiness, 1 being not at all and 10 being absolutely, how worthy do you feel?
Probably a 5. I'm kind of in the middle there somewhere. I feel I have something to say, but just not sure it's worth putting it out there.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it makes sense that you'd have some nerves, right? Because I think we're always, especially with public speaking or just speaking to a large number of people, that's actually one of like the biggest fears that we all face is putting ourselves out there. So it makes sense that you'd have some nerves about that. But I'm curious, when you talk about, being at a level 5, what would have to happen in order for you to be at a 10?
Courage to feel the fear and just do it anyway. I love your process. Jessica. I can actually see what it is you do to help people. So let me take you back to a moment in time, to the younger you, before you discovered all of these methodologies and ways of gaining self-confidence and self-worth and loving yourself. Mm-hmm. If time was an illusion and you could go back to the younger you and have a conversation with that young woman, what 3 nuggets of wisdom would you give her based on what life has taught you up to this point? Yeah, that's a great question. And I actually think about that often. I think what I would tell her, the first piece of advice is that I would probably say to myself, you are a very creative, vibrant person who has a lot of love to give. And that is a good thing. And to express your love and express your creativity. I think the second thing I would say is that what other people think about you is none of your business, and that this is your life and it is your right to show up as an individual and to follow your personal dreams and goals. And the third thing I would say is, and it's possible to be successful following those dreams and goals, no matter what anyone says to you, because you're passionate and you're ambitious and you're beautiful. Okay, so on the same vein, if time was an illusion and your past, your present, your future existed in the same timeline, and you could teleport to the 100-year-old you sitting on your porch, having lived this amazing, authentic life, what would you say to her? Good job. That's a great question. It's a great question. I have not thought about that. I feel like you are living as a full expression of who you are right now. Mm-hmm. I definitely try to be. I think what I've learned throughout this whole process, this self-discovery process and getting into the coaching, is that being grateful for things has really opened my eyes, because as you know, as everybody knows, life is unpredictable, and I don't know what's going to happen to me, tomorrow, 5 minutes from now. I have no idea. And
being grateful for the people that I have, being grateful for the experiences that I have, being grateful for the ability to like have my health and to be able to do this, start this business and have support and, whatever it is in your life that you are grateful for, to stop and actually be present for the moments.
Yes.
Because that's really what it is about. Like for me, I believe that life is I believe we are meant to be happy. I really do. And I know that there's a lot of pain and suffering in the world, but you might not be able to control the feelings that come up for you when something terrible happens. You're going to be sad or angry, and that's perfectly normal. And it's good to sit with your feelings. But then you have a choice. You can continue to be sad and be a victim, and then to tell yourself that your life is terrible. Or you can choose to move forward with that experience and then now the knowledge that you have and move forward in a different direction. And I think that for me, I just try to look at everything as an experience and an opportunity. And that is why I think I'm so positive, because even when people like are terrible to me or things happen, I always think I really believe there's a purpose for it. And I think that attitude has just allowed me to, it just makes it a little easier.
So whatever's coming at you in life, you just think there's a reason for this. And even though you don't understand it in the moment, the reason does reveal itself with time, correct?
Exactly. It's like 100%. In this moment right now, I might not know the answer, but I get comfortable with that. So I allow myself to be comfortable knowing that I cannot control what's happening, but believing that it's going to be okay. I don't know what that is, but I know it's going to be okay. And I just constantly remind myself of that. And that's the thing with self-love and self-care and positivity. It is a practice.
Yeah.
So you have to tell yourself that. I have notes all over the place reminding myself of all these little things, because it's so easy to get lost in your thoughts. I mean, and I still do it all the time. I absolutely have moments where I get down, right? But then I pick myself back up. I don't stay there for too long.
Yeah, you have to decide to get up.
Exactly. And that's the thing, because we all suffer. I mean, life is tough, but you don't have to stay there.
I love it. I absolutely love it. Okay, so I'm going to end our interview with another weird little question.
Okay.
Is there anything I should have asked you?
Oh my goodness, that's a great question. Is there anything? So one thing that maybe I didn't mention, and maybe you asked me this in a different way, is, and perhaps this is a part of my answer from the beginning, but as a part of this journey that I'm going on, and a part of what I want to do with my life, is to really inspire women and people to be themselves. And when it comes to that self-love, I think recognizing your unique strengths and your talents and your quirks, like even something about yourself that you think is super weird or strange, something that maybe you're hiding because you think other people might not get that is what makes you amazing. And so I used to beat myself up because I was so kind. This is what I was saying before about being like a people pleaser. I was so kind that I would let people take advantage of me. And I thought that was a weakness. And then what I realized was that my kindness is not a weakness. And I should not let people take advantage of me. But it's okay to act kind when someone is not being kind to me, because what I realize is that it's about how I feel. And if I'm showing up with kindness in a situation where maybe someone's not being kind to me, I actually feel better, because I feel like I handled the situation that was authentic to my values. And it's really not about the other person, it's about me. And so, I would say to people who struggle to be themselves in situations, to really think about what their values are, what's important to them, and to react with those values in mind and to make choices with those values in mind. I think that really can lead you to a fulfilling life when you're aligned with what you truly believe and what you truly want. And whether that's, family or, whatever your values are, always having those in the back of your head when you're making decisions, because then everything will come together and you can really be this whole person and really show up authentically. I don't know if that answered your question.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for gracing us with your presence this morning. You are an absolute ray of sunshine. And thank you to everybody who's tuned in today. I am meeting some of the most fascinating women with the launch of the Herstory magazine. And Jessica, it's been an absolute honor. I wish you luck with your coaching program, and we will include all of your contact details on the article for the magazine as well, so people can contact you as well as on the podcast. Have a fantastic day, everybody, wherever you are in the world. I'll be back again tomorrow with yet another amazing woman sharing her story. Bye for now. Thank you, Jessica.